Good morning. Oh, come on, a little louder, wake me up. It was like 2 o'clock this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Much better. Wow. I heard that one. I want to talk about being positive today. And the reason being is because Earth is changing a great deal. You don't have to be a medium or sensitive, you can pick it up. There's all kinds of changes going on. The world is in kind of an upside-down situation. It doesn't mean, by the way, that we're going to destroy ourselves. It just means that we have to adjust to a lot of things. One of the positive thinking is one of the things I remember back 40 years ago. I'm only 30 years old right now. I hear that in the background. But positiveness is important because as you are more positive in life today, you open up a lot of wonderful things for you. We forget that. And I had to learn that years ago because when I was younger, I had to take over business. It was on insurance. My grandfather started in 1904. And to tell you about it, I knew nothing about insurance. But I learned pretty fast because I started to become very positive, and I stayed positive until today. And we have to do that. There's a lot of stuff going on now that we have to rely on God, the infinite spirit we call it in spiritualism. And I know that God is very positive. Look at the world this God created. It's a wonderful place to be. And it's going to remain that way. And He's also given us tools to live by to help us to be positive as well. Because positive thoughts bring in positive results. Positive thoughts brings in positive results. Contrary to negative things will also bring in negative results. Trust me. Now, one of the books I wrote, I put in about planting a garden. And when I was just a little kid, planting the first garden, I don't want to go in through that again. That was hard work. Basic training was easy in comparison to developing a garden. You had to clean everything out and all this stuff. But it brings a point that we have to clean our subconscious mind of all the negation that we have, carried with us to all these years, and change it to a positive one. Change it to a positive one. Now, I've been doing a lot of talking to different people. I won't call it counseling because I'm not a psychologist, thank God. But, excuse me, that's a telephone call. But people come to me and ask me different questions. They're having problems. And I'm saying, my gosh, you have to think more positive about things in life. And you really forget to do that. Empaths. I don't know whether you people know about it, but I know 3 women who are empathic. They pick up everything. They could be sitting in a crowd and they're picking up everything going around them. So one day they asked me, because I'm very honest with my work. I won't kid anybody. If I don't know something, I'm going to tell them. They asked me, how do you change the empathic part of me, of them? I said, I really don't know. So I went down to Dunkin'. That's my favorite place.
Because you're from Massachusetts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, well, you know, if anybody wants to find me in Melbourne, it's usually 1 or 2 Dunkin' Donuts. That's my new store now. And on the way back, my guide said, tell these girls to cover themselves with white light. Cover themselves with white light for protection. Now, the funny part about it is I had to contact one who was a teacher. So I told her, she says, I have a question to ask you. And I said, I'm afraid to ask the question. She says, do you cover yourself from the bottom up or from the top down? I said, I'm glad I wasn't in her class. But, and the other person said, good, because I'm going to remember that. I said, before you go outside, make sure you cover yourself with the white light of protection. Because these people are very sensitive. And as we go through life, we become more sensitive because we have to change into that sensitivity part of it, that we need to protect ourselves all the time. The subconscious mind really doesn't have a sense of humor. Now, most of you know I have a sense of humor. I don't care what you two say. But I have a sense of humor, but the subconscious mind will only take in what you give it. So if you give it negative stuff during the course of the day, that subconscious mind is going to carry it there. So planting the garden, we have to go back and plant our subconscious mind and destroying the negativity and bringing the positiveness about ourselves. And we can do that. We can do that. All we have to do is when you get up in the mornings, don't worry about what's going to happen. Say everything's going to be okay. Everything will be okay. Because once you start thinking that way, if you think negative, it will be negative. If you don't, and start thinking positive, it will be positive. Sometimes it's good just to write it down. You can write it down. I'm a very positive person. I'm going to do things on a positive level in my work. I don't care what you do for a living. You could be retired, but you still got things to do. Just say, I'm going to take care of it on a positive note. It definitely does work. The spirit guides are with you all the time, and angels. By the way, I never thought I would see an angel, because when I was a Catholic boy, the nuns would say, you had to be a good boy and girl in class in order to see an angel someday when you get older. I said, on that basis, that would leave me out. But I did see one in September of 2020. So, changing that process over to be more positive is important to each and every one of us. I'm not even going to go into the economy of the world right now, or the situation going on. I'd rather watch the Mickey Mouse channel, to be very honest with you, on TV, because it's more fun. This idea of dropping bombs here and there is not quite my idea of a lot of fun, although I was in the service. And it was not back in the 18th century, like some of you might think. It was during Vietnam, and I'm glad we didn't go over. So, that's the name of the game. Be part of the positive part of you, the God consciousness. Let God help you. God is with everyone. There's no exclusion. This God is going to work with you if you ask Him. If you say, I need your help. It's like when we took, connecting with your spirit guides. Years ago, the customs would teach us one way of doing it. And I had nothing against their teaching because it worked out well. But I do know that your guides and angels are with you all the time. Every single day. They're on 24-hour shifts. And you don't have to pay them for being there, by the way, which is good. But they also know what's going to take place. They know what's going to happen days in advance. So they're aware of the situation they're going to go through. So speak to them. You don't have to text them, by the way. If you get a text back from a spirit guide, let me know. I want to get that number. But just say, okay, I know you're here. I need your help. Give me a helping hand on this. And they will do it. They will do it. So when you leave this afternoon, be positive. Think positive. Everybody worries about different things. I know I drove up from Melbourne early this morning, and I should have bought a tank. The way they drive that. They don't drive, they tax like a sailboat on the ocean. But don't worry about things. Just say to your spirit guide, even when you leave here, just say, come with me, stay with me. Help me to go through the day with this. And they will do it, seriously. My guide is with me all the time. She's going to be a pain in the neck. It's kind of funny because she has a sense of humor. And I said to her one day, I said, you got a sense of humor. She said, yeah, I have to have one to be with you. So they do have a sense of humor. So think about that. Think positive, stay positive, and keep yourself on a positive level as much as you can. You're going to waffle back and forth naturally, but readjust. Readjust. And think about that as you leave, and take it with you for the rest of your life. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you.